You ready to head back to Hangshaw now, Jensen?
No time like the present. Let's get going.
Then hop in. Bad news, Spy Boy.
Spy boy?
Hangshaw Traffic Control just revoked our clearance. We're being rerouted to another part of the city.
I don't like that. I suppose you can't just ignore them.
Yeah, right. Chinese government. I've got to comply. Bravo Echo Echo 008, proceeding to designated coordinates. What the hell? We've got a SAM locked on our tail. Jensen, all systems are down. Hang on, we're going in hard. Jump, Jensen!
Malik, we've got company.
I know, but the bird took some damage. Gonna need to patch it up before I can go.
I'll stay and cover you.
Negative. You need to get away from here and find Dr. Savchenko. I'll be fine.
You'll be a sitting duck.
Maybe, maybe not. But this is your best chance to slip by them unnoticed, and you know it. So get out of here, Jensen. Jensen? The bird's fixed and I'm taking off. Now get on with the damned mission. And thanks, Spy Boy.
Anytime, fine girl.
Jensen, I've been monitoring comm activity around Hengsha. Bell Tower's looking for you. Hard.
I know. They ambushed us, Pritchard. Forced us to make an emergency landing. Malik barely got away in time.
But they're supposed to be...
The good guys?
Just give them a wide berth, Jensen. If they recognize you, they'll shoot. Jensen, it's Pritchard. Have you been watching the news?
Been a bit busy, Francis.
Jensen, the World Health Organization is advising all augmented patients to check in with Lim. There's a problem with biochip technology.
The glitches I've been experiencing.
We've all had them. So far, I can't determine why.
You heading to a clinic?
I'm running a few more tests. But since I can't exactly run them on you, and we don't know when you'll be back, you might not want to wait. Up to you.
Mr. Jensen, right? I am not mistaken. You are Mr. Jensen, right?
That depends. Who's asking?
I am sorry, Mr. Jensen. I am being impolite. My name is Wing Hui.
I can see that.
Yes, of course.
Not to sound too jaded, Doc.
You here for recall?
I'll think about it.
Quick, it's... You're very welcome, sir.
你说得到轻松了。如果我的生物片完全停止工作了，那怎么办？
Returning to
Should be
tonight,
here.
Vegas is
Get
story.
moving.
The World Health Organization
Get out here.
issued an unprecedented recall on augmentation technology. For days, reports of temporary malfunctions and electrostatic disturbances have been flooding in from around the globe.
So I imagine personal life's gotta have an opinion. Think they'll give up all that?
Back away, sir. This is none of your business. This has nothing to do with you. Keep moving. Come out!
Should be here. Get moving. Back
Get down!
Come on, show your face!
Fortune and glory to you.
Suspicious fluctuation in signal. We have to shut you down. Expert hackers could be trying.
Fortune and...
Bring you this show via satellite. But
Mr. Jensen, Hugh Darrow here. Please forgive this intrusion, but David assured me of your cooperation and discretion. I find myself in need of some assistance.
I'm listening.
A contact of mine, Meng Yao, is in Hengsha, waiting to fill you in. I'll upload her coordinates now.
Let's hope he's as good as they say. Mr. Jensen, right?
Really?
You're...
I don't get it.
Access granted.
Yeah, I will be right here.
Access granted.
That's why we have to create a covert host site for every new stream and then shut it down immediately once the call's over. I'm sitting...
我刚刚在这里洞里找到了股票，安琪拉正在招呼。
For days, reports of temporary malfunctions and electrostatic disturbances have been flooding in around the globe. Elizabeth Duclair, spokeswoman.
can't escape! Empty! Don't hide! 我找到你了！ Learn to shoot! Yeah! 别再躲了！
They send you?
If you're talking about your former buddies at Bell Tower, the answer is no.
Wait a minute. You're Jensen, right? I heard that some of my former buddies have been looking for you.
Yeah, it seems no matter how many of their friends I send back in body bags, they just don't get the message.
For the sin of their mouths, the words of their lips, let them be trapped in their pride.
You've dropped the Merc gig to become a man of the cloth?
Hardly. I just have an interest in theology. And I love quoting the book. Everything in it is so evocative. Now, tell me, are you here to stop me?
Not exactly. I'm here on behalf of someone who wants you to understand reason.
Let me guess. Dr. Wing, right? He's a good man. And I know he's only trying to do what he thinks is right. But he doesn't quite grasp the whole picture here.
Then why don't you enlighten me? Start by explaining why you went rogue.
When an average man decides he no longer shares his employer's views and opts to leave, we say he's handing in his resignation. When men like us do the same, it's called going rogue. You can't quit a job like ours, Jensen. You know that.
Yeah, okay, I can relate. But you still haven't answered my question. And what do you mean when you say you no longer share your employer's view?
Back in the US, when I first got into the Army, I did it because I wanted to serve my country. I believed in its values. I believed in its government. Back then, I believed that by serving my government, I was serving the people it was supposed to protect.
Nice sentiment. But you don't work for the US anymore, you work for Bell Tower.
Times change, Jensen. You know the story. Capitalism's final encroachment on one of the most lucrative industries in the history of mankind. War got privatized. The US military offloaded its special operations to PMCs like Blue Water Global and Bell Tower. I believed that as long as they were working for the government, they were serving the same cause. So when they offered me the chance to work on major operations at twice the pay grade, I made my jump.
Why don't we just skip to when things went sour?
Bell Tower outfitted us with top-notch augmentations. The kind of stuff civilians never hear about. Gave us a massive edge over the enemy. Later, seeing as my unit was one of the most successful ones, they selected us for a special program. Top secret, experimental tech. Told us we would get to work on critical black ops for the US government. But there was a price to pay.
Go on.
We had to be implanted with a neural hub that manipulates memory centers in the brain. Basically controlling what you can and cannot remember.
And you agreed to this?
Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. The augmentation was supposed to keep us safe, make sure we'd never remember details if we fell behind enemy lines. That was the main function. The second one, the one they didn't tell us about, was to lower our inhibitions. Make us more receptive to orders we'd likely disobey. Bell Tower turned us into the perfect mercs.
If you were so perfect, and the hub made you so perfect, how did it fail? How come they didn't outfit the whole agency?
I told you the tech was experimental. After a couple of ops, I started experiencing memory shifts, remembering bits and fragments of past operations. Slowly, I realized some of these operations couldn't logically have been orchestrated by the government. I was asked to do highly questionable things, even by professional standards.
Aren't we all?
Not like this, Jensen. Our services have been sold to corrupt officials in the American and Chinese governments. A combination of lies and use of the neural aug made sure we complied. We were working for a shadow government. Individuals corrupted by a quest for personal power.
So how'd you get out of it?
I confronted the project director. He quoted Apocalypse Now. You have to have men who are moral, and at the same time who are able to utilize their primordial instincts to kill without feeling. I forced him to disconnect the hub, for me and my squad mates here. And then I killed him. I went through his files and contacts. I know who these corrupt men are now. They've turned us into killing machines, and now they'll get to experience their experiment firsthand.
Dr. Wing said our situations would resonate. I don't think he realized it might go both ways. Some men deserve the justice we bring on them. Do what you have to do, Zelazny. I won't get in your way.
I appreciate that, Jensen. I didn't want you to die for a cause that isn't yours. These men I killed, and these men I'm going to kill. They have names, families, they're people. Their deaths shouldn't be erased from my memory by some electronic software. They should haunt me, taunt me, until I finally meet our Lord and pay for my sins. But the men behind this, they deserve to die. And I think there's poetry in the fact that they engineered their own demise.
Hey, Jensen. Zelazny here.
Zelazny? How'd you get this frequency?
You're no stranger to top-secret augmentations, Jensen. You figure it out. In the meantime, just want to let you know I've contacted some of my old pals at Bell Tower. Got them to reassign a couple of local patrols. You should have a few less problems to deal with for a while.
Thanks.
Don't mention it.
WHO confirmed that the cause of these disruptions has been linked to a major...
So? You have found Zelazny? I cannot stress enough the importance of this task, Mr. Jensen.
I found him.
Really, Mr. Jensen?
It's a long story, Doc. I tracked Zelazny and his men.
What? But...
The men Zelazny's after are far more dangerous than he is. His methods are extreme, but I think his cause is justified.
Returning to tonight's biggest story, the World Health Organization.
你也感觉到了吗？哎，这感觉算是。
You must get that chip back, Mr. Jensen.
I got the chip. The sellers are out cold.
Excellent work. Seems Mr. Darrow was right to trust you. We will send people to take care of the terrorists. Could I see the chip?
Here you go.
Ah, perfect. You don't know what this means, Mr. Jensen. Your help has been invaluable. Thank you. Even though this was a favor for Mr. Darrow, he believes you should be duly rewarded. Here is a payment in credits. I'm sure Mr. Darrow will wish to congratulate you himself. Expect to hear from him soon.
It seems David has a flair for choosing his people, Mr. Jensen. You have done me a great service today.
Glad I could help. I just wish I knew what this was all about.
You never know, Mr. Jensen. One day, you just might.
难道没人愿意帮助一个可怜的人吗？难道没人愿意帮助？